On the isolated island, the madness of the games
제발 살려주세요. 제 딸이 많이 아픕니다.
살고 싶으면 내 말 들어. 반드시 이 게임을 끝내야. 왜 나만 살려둔 거야? 대답해! 쏘라고 이 새끼들아! 왜 나만 살려둔 거야?
이번 게임은 두 조로 나뉘어 진행됩니다.
reached a crescendo. Gi-hun, once a simple, desperate man caught in the whirlwind of deceit and despair, stands amidst the chaos, a soldier for justice cloaked in the very shadows that once haunted him. In the dim-lit arena, Gi-hun had placed his trust in contestant number one, a fellow player and a seeming ally. The irony was brutal as it unfurled. This man was none other than the architect of their misery, the puppet master of the horrid arena. Gi-hun's heart ached with betrayal, yet his resolve strengthened. The dwindling band of allies around Gi-hun is falling. The ammunition has dried up, and the guards, relentless and indifferent, close in like wolves scenting blood. The pleas for mercy echo off the concrete walls, met with the cold silence of defeat as one by one, they are claimed by death's grim embrace. Amidst this slaughter, a single player, a painter and tender-hearted father, fights desperately to hold on to hope for his daughter's life-saving surgery. Yet his fate turns dark as the guards finish him off, murmuring a cryptic farewell. "You are dead. Close your eyes." Hope flickers to life in an unusual act. His coffin is marked secretly by Gi-hun, a mysterious yet compassionate player who seems to have lent a fragile ray of light in this world of endless night. It's a mark indicating life among the lifeless, and it sets in motion her daring gamble. Gi-hun, who knew the compassionate painter from outside the grim grasp of the arena, stakes her life on a risky charade. She poses as one of the sinister guards, aligning herself to their cruel creed, seeming to assent to their dark desires. Inside the guarded recesses of the game's bloody machinery, she cunningly manipulates, seeking the hidden sanctum where fragile lives might still linger. "I need the money and nothing more," she asserts, masking her true intent. Trusting her, the guard, oblivious to her deeper purpose, reveals their secretive surgery chamber. Gi-hun and Gi-hun now are allies in uncertain salvation, slyly paving roads of redemption where money might bend to humanity's will. The game's twist to a finale of vengeance, justice, and perhaps the delicate dance toward redemption, or ruin. These survivors walk a wire-thin line over a chasm of despair, fueled by dreams too strong to die. The night was pitch black, the silence only punctuated by the rhythmic thuds of guards moving in unison. The heavy coffin they carried spoke not of death, but deception. Contestants huddled together, eyes wide with trepidation, daring not to speculate what lay inside. Within the confines of that coffin was Gi-hun, whom we believe to be deceased, a cruel mirage painted by those who masterminded this vicious game. His cheeks pale as death, body still, the illusion hovered until the girl, with the instincts and resolve of someone shaped by special forces, identified the flicker of life still held in his broken form. A chorus of half-cries, half-hope urged them to action. Carrying Gi-hun to a bed, they dressed his wounds with the little means they had. Bonds forged in desperation. Elsewhere, on a ship cresting silent waters, Huang's patience wore thin as he unraveled another thread of conspiracy. A guard had vanished, and his instincts sharpened by mistrust confronted lies with half-truths provided by the captain. Waves of uncertainty crashed in Huang's mind, and past betrayals hinted at another shadow pulled too deep beneath the opaque surface of the sea. The captain, burdened by his own secrets, peddled the story that the guard had been swept away, a fiction spun to maintain the rickety facade. Huang, Locked in the cage of duty, fetters tightened against skepticism. Their eyes collided, neither willing to let the veneer of deceit crumble. The sun saw the island blink, unveiling yet another morsel of truth as the guard's body was found. This dance of peril played endlessly, unseen by their masters. Gi-hun drifted between dreams and nightmares where voices of his fallen allies clung to him, relentless echoes that poisoned sleep. With his eyes peeled open, the living felt like phantoms, their celebration of his survival bitter and fragmented. Seeking redemption, Gi-hun looked for the friends who now existed only in memory. A dulled truth struck. The architects of this horror, the game's owners, had executed them for their audacity to escape. He cried for the loss of hope, for being the unintended harbinger of their demise. The edges of consensus curdled into disbelief as guards entered, announcing death tolls with the same apathy as one would a statistic. The story begins like a storm crashing one's soul, a sense of urgency in the dark heart of the ocean. Aboard a ship hidden under the veil of night, the manager receives a call from the captain. Panic and conviction battle within his voice as he reports their impending doom. Huang and his team approach the Forbidden Island. I try to delay them, but that's my limit. The manager's voice is cold as he orders the unthinkable. Finish them off if you must. The games must end first. They all must leave. The detective too. Silence them forever. A decision for the sake of the game. A ruthless command wrapped in ignoble justification. Meanwhile, the island bears witness to an emotional vote, a passage that decides destinies. Guards, clad in masks of indifference, approach Gi-hun. His heart is a barren landscape torn by sorrow, his existence bound in shock and apathy. The countdown to decision booms around him, but he remains still, lost in the void of his being. His abstention seals his fate as a whisper of lost significance. As the voting progresses, greed dances among the players. A contestant blinded by desire chooses wealth over freedom, over life. This choice entangles her in a deadly game, sparking a cascading impact among others. The manager, submerged in the chaos, grapples with a deadly truth. Many guards lay lifeless from the futile attack. Instructions to replace fallen soldiers echo in his ear, a warning to maintain decorum. An anticipation wells up as faceless audience, owners of deepest pockets, await the unfolding of fate's brutal theater. Dark duties follow. Coffins replace the lost souls, their presence a stain among shadows. The fortune-teller contestant goes to talk to Gi-hun and pretends she foresaw the tragic events. I warned you. The spirits around you told me, she says ominously. You are the cause of what happened to them. Your dead friends do not forgive you, and you will hear their screams in your sleep. Gi-hun's eyes blaze with anger as he attempts to choke her, overcome by the rage her words have incited, until other contestants intervene, saving both him and her. Meanwhile, the guards involved in organ trafficking prepare to do their grim work with the painter, when Gi-hun suddenly enters. Her presence unnerves them until the guard reassures them by removing his mask, revealing they're all in this together and survival depends on mutual trust. Gi-hun reluctantly follows suit, revealing herself as a young, beautiful girl. But she quickly seizes the advantage, grabbing a weapon and threatening them if they don't step away. Surprised by her audacity, one mistakenly risks an attack, unaware she's wielding more than just a machine gun, an assertive force of justice. She evades their retaliation with deft movements, and in an adrenaline-fueled counterattack, she disables one assailant with a pistol shot. Within an instant, the second falls. Then, she faces the bullying guard, recounting her escape from an oppressive army, punctuating her tale with a decisive shot that leaves him incapacitated. The doctor remains, pleading for mercy, which she grudgingly grants, contingent on his help to save the painter. Back with the contestants, lunchtime arrives. Guards distribute meals efficiently. Among them, an old bully pretends to emulate Thanos, perpetuating his fantasy, complete with faux jewelry. The pregnant girl is offered food by her former lover, suspicious of his sudden generosity. Gi-hun sits apart, silent, drawing pity from companions while the elderly woman provides him with food and comforting words. Despite her kindness, his sorrow is unyielding. She attempts to apologize to the Special Forces woman for failed attempts at aiding Gi-hun, but her son reassures her, blaming a cowardly contestant for taking the ammunition and failing in support. Gi-hun overhears the conversation, his gaze fixed on the errant contestant whose cowardice contributed to his friend's demise, yet he remains silent, adrift in his grief and resentment. The fortune-teller contestant goes to talk to Gi-hun and pretends she foresaw the tragic events. "I warned you. The spirits around you told me," she says ominously. "You are the cause of what happened to them. Your dead friends do not forgive you, and you will hear their screams in your sleep." Gi-hun's eyes blaze with anger as he attempts to choke her, overcome by the rage her words have incited, until other contestants intervene, saving both him and her. Meanwhile, the guards involved in organ trafficking prepare to do their grim work with the painter, when Gi-hun suddenly enters. Her presence unnerves them until the guard reassures them by removing his mask, revealing they're all in this together and survival depends on mutual trust. At that moment, Hwang reviews the map and marks the islands he searched, and only a few are left. Suddenly, the leader's assistant enters and asks to speak with him. He asks him about his relationship with the captain and how he knows him. Hwang tells him that he was injured, fainted, and fell into the sea, and the captain found him and saved his life. But the assistant suspects him and informs him that he heard the shouting on the ship yesterday, and when he went out, he saw the captain holding a screwdriver. He suspects that he is a spy and that he finished off their dead colleague. Hwang is surprised by his words but doesn't believe him and tells him that he trusts the captain because he saved his life and asks him to go to sleep and not talk about the matter again. The assistant apologizes to him and has to listen to him. And we see Gi-hun, who stays awake all night, and when day breaks, the guards wake up the contestants. The cowardly young man gets up and opens his eyes, surprised that Gi-hun is looking at him and focusing on him. He feels embarrassed and is afraid to face him. It's time for the fourth game, and the contestants begin to go to the game area, but they are shocked by what they see. They are surprised that the guards have hung the rest of their colleagues to warn anyone who does the same. The cowardly contestant feels guilty because he was the cause of what happened to them, and Gi-hun keeps looking at him, promising them that he will take revenge. The contestants arrive at the place where they will play, and the guards inform them that they will be divided into 2 teams and ask each one to choose a ball. Each one begins to choose a ball with red or blue. Unfortunately, the old woman and her son are separated. The pregnant girl and her lover are also separated. And of course, our friend Gi-hun is unfortunately the last contestant and gets the red color. At that moment, amidst the eerily calm waters, Hwang makes a pivotal decision. He initiates a new search operation, determined to uncover hidden truths. With steadfast guards by his side, he steps onto the ship of enigmatic Captain Cho, whose demeanor oscillates between warm-hearted kindness and veiled menace. "We're a lifebuoy," Cho suggests casually, his politeness veiling a sinister air, but is he truly kind-hearted? Suddenly, in an unexpected twist, Hwang's phone rings. It's his astute assistant, suspicious and stern in her advice. Beware of whom you wonder aloud, dear viewer. "Captain Cho," she insinuates confidently. Her instincts are razor-sharp, never missing the mark. I will uncover the truth, Huang vows. He divulges to a gang affiliate, their leader, felled by the merciless dynamics of Squid Game, is gone. He spills forth secrets like a relentless torrent, seeking hidden alliances and treachery. In the arena of desperation, contestants weighed their options, hunting for team swaps before the deadly game starts. Among them, a brutish bully zeroes in on a vulnerable youth. Coward, you won't muster the might to kill, he taunts, his words dripping with venom. Courage is your ticket to survival, or I will dispatch you myself, threatens the bully. A pregnant girl, clinging to the crimson-red team, is implored by her beloved to switch sides, desperation in his pleas. Yet, she stands resolute, suspecting his honeyed promises to protect her and their unborn child conceals deception. I will fight to save our son, she glows with maternal fervor. Across the tense expanse, an elderly woman faces her pleading son. Swap the knife, dear mother. Your gentle heart means no harm to others, he begs, earnest but misguided. She reveals intent to switch, but not with him, lest they be targeted for her frailty. Elsewhere, a pig contestant attempts a swap with Gi-hun, only to flee from his fierce gaze, eyes ablaze with unyielding fire. Cowardice runs rampant as another contestant seeks an ally in a trembling girl. Switch with me, he pleads desperately. Dismissing hope, fury emerges as he accuses Gi-hun. Your fault. A plan so flawed, others died. The eerie calm of the dimly lit room ripples as the contestants enter, each trying to find a hiding spot. The old woman, with determined eyes, stops her son. She urges him to hide among the shadows with the others, promising she's equipped with a secret weapon, an innocuous hairpin. Her son hesitates, but her fierce gaze reassures him. Meanwhile, the pregnant girl nods at her lover's insistence, passing him a knife as she swaps places with him, hoping in exchange for protection. Within the labyrinthine maze, nerves and uncertainty swirl. A contestant mutters an idea that electrifies the group. Why not seek an exit instead of hiding? Their hearts pound with newfound resolve. They split up, each venturing into the twisting corridors in search. One holds a necklace with a key, claiming it can open the door to freedom. The pregnant girl, however, soon falters, weariness evident. The old woman, her heart touched, comforts her. It's then that the Special Forces girl steps forward, her demeanor a blend of steel and compassion. She beckons them to join her, swearing protection. Simultaneously, in whispered shadows, the bully approaches the girl's lover. He spins promises of cooperation, luring him into a pact to eliminate others, seduced by the lure of riches doubling. Suddenly, the countdown claims its final second, guards summoning the red team into the maze, where Gi-hun, fueled by fury, follows unwillingly. His eyes burn with vengeance, locked onto the cowardly contestant. Meanwhile, the chaos is interrupted as the painter wakens, greeted by the doctor's relieved grin. Yet, Si-yun's resolve knows no mercy. She cannot risk a traitor. Masking her identity, she approaches him, urging the painter to don the dead guard's mask, blending into anonymity for survival's sake. Into the maze strides the red team, clock ticking a relentless 30 minutes. The hunt for the blue team begins, each member scattering. The old woman's son, heart pounding, seeks his mother. Gi-hun, driven by vengeance, targets the coward. Chaos reigns as contestants scatter in search of safety and survival, each with their unique key shapes: circle, triangle, and square. Gi-hun, fueled by desperation, relentlessly pursues the elusive, cowardly contestant, determined to end his deceit. The con artist fortune teller exploits the group's fear, whimsically claiming spectral advice, leading a blind parade of believers. The greedy contestant discovers a door but falters with his key. His frustration mounts until a blue team member arrives. Their combined keys open the way to sanctuary. Simultaneously, the strong girl comprehends the key symbols. Collaborating with the pregnant girl and the old woman, they successfully unlock their door, forming a fragile alliance with the strong girl as head by default. Gi-hun's chase culminates in finding a look-alike, momentarily confusing him. Merciful, he allows escape. Meanwhile, the old woman's son searches for his mother, anxious yet relieved upon discovering a scream was not hers. Losing faith in her leadership, he allies with a red team member but hesitates to engage. The deadly duo, the bully and his partner, ravage the contestant pool, displaying brutality for the lure of heightened winnings. With the incessant echo of fatalities, the pregnant girl hears her lover's name victorious. Hope kindles as he, undeterred by threats, vows to protect her and the unborn child. This maze of betrayal and survival tests loyalties, where the forte of keys dictates fate and shadows harbor deceit. Alliances are fragile and trust precarious, yet each step is taken with calculated risk, all within the tragic tangles of the Squid Game. The relentless game continues, testing the limits of human morality and survival. Caught amidst the chaos is a love-struck contestant, convinced by a cunning bully that the path to victory entails eliminating others. They form a sinister pact that promises an abundance of prize money, urging them to turn against their fellow contestants. In a horrifying twist of fate, a cowardly contestant attempts to flee but finds himself caught in the clutches of the deadly red team. A desperate struggle ensues, leading to a perilous fall down the stairs. Seizing an opportunity in his wounded state, he takes a knife to fend for himself, fighting against the searing pain. Meanwhile, a pregnant girl finds herself on the brink of giving birth amidst the brutality of the game. Her team, seeking refuge, wrestle with the reality of their predicament. She selflessly pleads for them to leave her behind for their safety, but the steadfast old woman, rich with life's experience, defies her pleas. With time ticking away, the strong girl hesitates at the crossroads of survival and compassion. As the birthing process commences, their world constricts to the confines of a blood-stained room. In a desperate bid to silence the screams of agony, garments are pressed into the pregnant girl's mouth, stifling the sounds that could betray their hiding spot. Elsewhere, an ominous fortune teller ensnares the trust of suspicious contestants, weaving a tale of salvation through her deceitful charms. Her false promises unravel as a door ushers forth the threatening presence of the red team, leaving betrayal and chaos in its wake. As the clock nears its final moments, desperation crescendos. The pregnant girl's lover, ensnared by greed and manipulation, aids in dispatching those who dare follow the fleeing fortune teller. The fortune teller keeps running but bumps into the cowardly contestant and notices that her leg is injured and bleeding, and she refuses to walk with him because the contestants will surely find their location, so she is forced to enter another door, but she finds Gi-hun in front of her. She tries to scare him and tells him that if he comes near her, she will cast a spell on him and turn him into a frog. Listen to me, I'm capable. But he knows that she is a con artist and approaches her, and she is forced to apologize to him. She tells him, I am a liar. Oh, I know that you, by the way, want to get rid of the cowardly contestant and kill him because he betrayed you and didn't bring you the ammunition. He was outside just now, and his leg is bleeding. If you follow the blood trail, you will reach him. Indeed, he leaves her and decides to go to him and keeps following the blood to find his location, and this time he is determined to finish him off. The fortune teller is happy that she escaped from him but finds the cowardly young man behind her and asks her about the pregnant girl's location, and she is scared of him and thinks he wants to finish her off and leaves him. She enters a room and is surprised that there is an exit from the game, and she is happy and goes to open it, but she is surprised that it needs 3 keys: a circle, a triangle, and a square. This means that 2 people must help her. She goes out to look for them or look for the keys and sees a dead contestant and goes to take the key from him, but she finds that it is the same shape as the one she has. She feels frustrated and decides to draw a mark on the wall with blood to know the location of the exit and not get lost in the maze and return later. The greedy contestant tries to escape, but he finds the bully and his partner in his way, and he is scared of them and doesn't know what to do and has reached a dead end. He is forced to lie on the ground and cover his face with blood as if he is dead. He holds his breath and no one notices him. The bully approaches him and wanted to stab him with a knife to make sure, but his partner calls him to leave. After that, the fortune teller goes to him to take the key from him, but he opens his eyes and she is surprised that he is still alive and tells him that she found the exit location, and he decides to go with her and asks her if she is sure of the way, but she deceives him and tells him, "Shame on you, I know the way, and the good spirits are helping me. The good spirits are down there, dear viewer, the arrow is there." At that moment, the old woman succeeds in giving birth to the pregnant woman, and she is happy and tells her that she gave birth to a beautiful girl. The mother is reassured and hugs her and promises her to protect her. The room was filled with the echo of desperation and fear. Inside, the strong girl stood, bloodied and tired, but with an indomitable spirit that refused to be crushed. She had just fought off a member of the red team, her resilience shining amid the gruesomeness of the situation. She clutched the 3 keys, her only hope for escape, and pushed through the pain as the room revealed its fatal surprise. It was an exit. Success was within reach, yet her heart was torn. She couldn't abandon the old woman and mother she had sworn to protect. With selfless courage, she ventured back for them, unaware of the lurking peril behind her. Her lover appeared. The romance they shared was now tainted by the betrayal that followed. Without knowing the sacrifice she made for him, he ended her life in cold blood, mistaking her resolve for hostility. As she lay dying, the truth settled heavily in his mind. He gazed at the child, realizing the price of his ignorance had claimed the life of the very savior he owed. Fearful of the implications, the lover retreated, sealing the door and hiding the truth. The old woman mourned, enveloping the strong girl's lifeless body in sorrowful gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking, taking the keys from the girl's hand, knowing it was their only chance. The fortune teller, finding her way to the exit, was yet another victim of betrayal. The greedy contestant snatched the chance, leaving her despairing outside the now locked door. Her cries reverberated through the halls, a dire prophecy of revenge hauntingly spoken. Deep within the shadows, another danger brewed. A cowardly young man, muddled by hallucinations, seemed to lose sense of reality. At that moment, the guards announce that only 2 minutes remain until the end of the game, and all the contestants are forced to look for a place to hide to survive. The cowardly contestant is forced to hide in a coffin and close it on himself. The greedy contestant keeps running and finds a locked room and tries to open it, but he is surprised that Gi-hun is inside. He is scared and doesn't know what to do. Gi-hun approaches him and tells him, "You are not the one I want," and leaves him and walks away. The greedy contestant is surprised and doesn't understand anything and asks him why he didn't kill him, but Gi-hun doesn't reply to him. He continues to walk in the maze looking for the cowardly contestant. He starts shouting, "Come out, you coward! Come out! You who betrayed your friends. He keeps shouting and cursing until he hears the sound of the coffin creaking and knows that he is inside. He goes to him and tells him, I know you're here. I smell your fear. He keeps hitting the coffin and telling him to come out. The coward refuses and is shivering with fear. The countdown ends, and the guards announce the end of the game. They announce the names of the survivors and tell them to return to their rooms. Gi-hun is forced to return and says, You got lucky today, but I won't leave you. The cowardly contestant breathes a sigh of relief, but he knows that Gi-hun will never leave him, and the day of vengeance is near. The guards begin to carry the bodies and announce that only 28 contestants are left. The money vault increases, and the total amount reaches 56 billion won. The contestants return to their rooms and are terrified. Everyone is changed, some have killed, and others have lost their minds. The pregnant girl cries over the strong girl who saved her, and the old woman tries to calm her down. Her son also comes and hugs her and tells her that everything will be fine. The pregnant girl looks at her lover with disappointment, and he approaches her and pretends to be happy about the child, but she turns away from him. The cowardly contestant returns bleeding, and everyone looks at him with anger, especially Gi-hun. The guards enter and throw food to the contestants and announce that tomorrow will be the 5th game, and the rich VIP guests have arrived to watch. Hwang stood on the deck, the wind whipping against his face as they approached the island. Each passing moment gnawed at him, knowing that time was ticking and lives were on the line. His heart raced with the urgency to put an end to this merciless game once and for all. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. It was his assistant, the tech genius who had managed to infiltrate the Squid Game's heavily guarded network. I found it. The assistant's voice trembled with excitement and dread. We have the coordinates, but hurry, they're planning to end it tonight. Good job, Hwang replied, feeling the weight of impending doom. Captain, we need to change course now. The captain hesitated, glancing at Hwang with an expression swimming in ambiguity. If you don't change the course, I'll know you're one of them, Hwang threatened, his eyes like steel. Reluctantly, the captain obeyed, a look of dark contemplation shadowing his face as he plotted within. On the island, night descended on the camp of hapless contestants. Gi-hun sat isolated, observing the frightened contestant who cowered away from the group. The pregnant girl stifled sobs, while the elder woman offered quiet comfort, her son vigilant at the door. Greed gnawed at another contestant, his mind feverishly calculating his escape, memorizing the path through the deadly maze that once seemed hopeful. In hushed corners, whispers twisted in the air. The bully, conspiratorial and eager for blood, strategized with the girl's lover. Next game, the last, they plotted, eyes flickering hatred towards Gi-hun, the elder, and any deemed as threats. Morning arrived, harsh and unyielding. Guards clad in grim uniformity marched them to the day's arena, a fantastical stage adorned in golden opulence. Laughter echoed from the masked elite, the VIPs, who feasted on the spectacle of desperation. Congratulations, one VIP declared, rising from his throne of mirth. Today, betrayal reigns. Half of you will emerge. Half of you will perish. The announcement clashed through them, sowing dread and panic. Cards were distributed, black and red shadows of fate chosen by trembling hands. A twist, an alliance breaking. Gi-hun approached the coward, his card in hand. Choose, he commanded softly, eyes intent and eerily calm. Cornered, the coward yielded, eyes darting furiously for escape, only to be paired as fate demanded. With a heart pounding in sync with time's relentless march, Gi-hun clutched his card, awaiting the irrevocable clash, where survival weighed heavily against the shadow of betrayal. At that moment, The cowardly contestant is confused and hesitates, and the guards approach him and force him to stand in front of Gi-hun. He is scared and tries to look away. Gi-hun looks at him and says, "You ran once, you won't run again." The guards ask them to reveal their cards. Gi-hun turns his, red. The coward does the same, red. Everyone gasps. It's a match. The guards announce, "You two will face each other in a duel. One survives." The cowardly contestant collapses to the ground, crying and begging, "I didn't mean for them to die. I was afraid, please." Gi-hun says nothing. His face is emotionless. The guards give them knives and ask them to begin. The crowd of VIPs claps excitedly. The coward stands, shaking, holding the knife wrong. Gi-hun holds his tight. He walks toward him slowly, step by step. The coward screams, "Please, I'm sorry. I'll do anything. Just don't kill me." Gi-hun responds with one word, "Run." The coward turns and tries to flee, but there's no escape. It's a circular arena. Gi-hun catches him quickly, slams him to the ground, and raises the knife. But at the last moment he stops. He looks at him, broken, pathetic. The VIPs scream angrily, "Kill him!" But Gi-hun throws the knife to the ground. "I'm not like you," he says. Suddenly, one of the guards shoots the coward in the head. The VIPs cheer. The manager steps in and says, "We said one must die. If the player won't do it, we will." Gi-hun looks at the guard who shot, then at the manager. He now knows who's giving the orders. And inside him, the fire of vengeance burns again. The contestants are returned to the dormitory. Silence rules. One more friend lost. One more memory added to the nightmare. But now, Gi-hun has made a decision, not just to survive, to destroy the game from within. The end.